Over the last few years, I've personally tried more than 10 different ways to make money online. I made over $10,000 in a single month of 15, but I've also lost over 10 grand in a single week. Crypto, theme pages, agencies, pretty much every side hustle you have seen on your feed, I have actually done. And here is what I've learned the hard way. Almost every business model people tell you to start with is the worst possible thing to start with. They're either too saturated, too expensive, too hard, or they leave you completely on your own with no idea what you are doing. So in this video, I'm gonna run you through the most popular side hustles for 2026, give you one real reason why I wouldn't start with each of them, and then show you the single skill I would actually pick today if I was starting from zero. Let's get into it. By the way, if you're wondering why you should actually listen to me, it's not because I've just read about these business models and I know all the theory. It's because I've actually tried a bunch of them. I've probably done pretty decent with most of them, and I've just been able to pinpoint which one has been the best for me. I've done stuff like theme pages, I've done crypto, NFTs, I ran an agency that I recently shut down. I even tried building a wallet tracker company for crypto. The one that kind of stung the most though was when I did theme pages, because I was about 15 years old and I made over $10,000 in a single month, which is crazy. But the month right after that, it fell to like $1,000 or $2,000 and it just continued to fall lower and lower and lower and lower and lower. That is kind of what messed with me, because you would think I built a business, it's gonna do well, and then all of a sudden it just kind of fell apart. And that pretty much taught me what this whole video is about. So I could make money, but I haven't really mastered a skill yet. I realized that if I want to make a lot of money long term, I would first need to understand the fundamentals of business. And the fastest way for me to go and get them was to learn from people who already had them. And that is exactly what pointed me towards what I'm about to show you now. Now you're probably wondering, what is the best business model for me to start with? So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go through every single one of these business models that these online course sellers tell you to start, and I'm gonna rate them one by one. The first one we're gonna start off with is dropshipping. The pro is that there are millions of people buying stuff online every single day. And if you actually have a unique product, you can make a decent amount of money. One of the cons is that you are competing with millions of people though. While you are trying to run a dropshipping store with 10% margin, you are going against people that are actually building businesses, going directly to China and getting products for way cheaper, way higher margin, way more ad budget, everything like that. Another one of the cons is that you need a lot of money up front. And not even just a lot of money, but you also need to know the skills. How do I run ads? How do I do branding? How do I build websites? And yeah, AI can help you with some of it, but AI is not gonna help you with everything. And that's the thing, you are spending a lot of money outright without even knowing if it actually even works for you yet. And the third con is that you have a 90% failure rate, because you don't really bet on yourself, you're betting on a product of Alibaba, and most people will lose. It's kind of like walking into a casino with your life savings and you're hoping that the slot machine just works. To be honest with you, dropshipping is a pretty difficult first business model. I know I nearly did it myself, but the thing is, nowadays, you're competing with actual teams who have way more resources, way more capital, way more ad budget and everything than you, and just naturally way more skills. If you're a complete beginner and this is the first business model you're considering choosing, it is one of the biggest mistakes you can make. For that reason, dropshipping is going into D tier. Number two is crypto and trading. So I spent a couple of years of my life doing trading, and I made tens of thousands of dollars, but I've also lost over $10,000 in less than 3 days. And on the other hand, I also have a lot of friends who trade, so I kind of see how the markets work, and I'm pretty in touch with that whole space. One of the pros is that you can make money fast. And that's kind of what usually happens with people, is they make some money, they get excited, they think they figured it out, and then they get trapped, and then they get cooked. So the first con is that the market is a complete gamble. Even if you're skilled, it will not protect you. You're pretty much leveraging as much skill as you can and hoping of a probability that you don't get cooked. The second con is that there is an enormous emotional cost. From the age of 15 to 17, I personally traded a lot of crypto. And it was really difficult because psychology was a very big factor. So you could know what to do, but you might have emotional bias and you might screw yourself over. Or you can lose some money, get really annoyed, and then try revenge way your way back to profit. Especially if you're young and it's your first business model, it is very difficult to be disciplined and not have emotional bias when this is a lot of of your money on the line. Like if you only have $1,000 and you're putting it into crypto or trading, you're always going to be stressing out because you know that that is like all the money you have. So if you are forced to make non-biased, non-emotional decisions with that money, you're going to get cooked. Naturally, you're going to have emotional bias. The next thing is that you need money up front. I know a lot of people that trade, and I promise you that none of them became profitable with no money up front. And the final con is you will burn a lot of time and you will burn a lot of money. The average time it takes somebody to become profitable with trading is like 3 years, meaning that for those 3 years, you have to burn a lot of time and a lot of money that you probably don't even have in the first place. Overall, I think trading in crypto is actually a pretty decent place to put your money. I plan on putting a lot of my future savings into index funds. However, I think as a first business model, it is one of the worst you can start. So for that, I'm going to put it into F tier. Number 3 is running an agency or a social media marketing agency. The good thing about this is that if you can actually run a good agency, you can make a lot of money. If you have the right infrastructures, right teams, right systems, you can make a lot of bread. The downside to this though is that you are probably going to fail. You are expected to do the selling, the fulfillment, and set up absolutely everything on your own. There is nobody holding your hand. Like it is a lot of different skill sets all at the same time. Another con is that getting clients to trust you with 0 case studies is a difficult thing to do. If you have no sales skills and you have to somehow convince somebody to trust you, even though you have no reason for them to trust you, it is not an easy position to be in. Also, one thing worth noting is that like a lot of people who have pushed the agency space in the last few years have now stopped running an agency. And the final thing, even though there is way more, is that running and managing clients is exhausting. Like don't get it twisted, running an agency can actually work quite well, but the burnout rate is high and the churn rate is also very cooked, I'm not gonna lie. To give you some quick context as well, I recently shut down my 30K per month agency, even though it was making me money, because it was taking up all of my time, it was limiting my potential, and there were better options out there for me. So for that reason, I think it's a pretty good business model, but if you're a beginner, it's very difficult. You're probably not gonna do that well. I would give it like a C tier. Now let's talk about video editing. No offense, but video editing is one of the most trenched business models you can start off with. The good side of editing is that you can pretty much just start off with a laptop. It doesn't really cost you anything to start. You can go on YouTube. There's so many resources, and it's not terrible. However, the cons are there is so many video editors in this industry. I have like 10 guys hit me up every single day, and I promise you 95% of them have no experience. So unless you have like over at least 1 year experience, you're probably gonna get smoked by your competition. And this brings me to my next point, which is even if you do smoke your competition and you somehow land your first like opportunity, you're not gonna get paid that well at all. You have to spend a lot of time and effort getting pretty good at the skill, and then when you get paid for it, you won't even feel like you are worth much, because honestly, you're not. Like very good video editors, don't get it twisted, they'll make pretty good money. But the guys who are like decent and only have like, 1 or 2 years experience, I've seen maybe make 1, 2, maybe 3K per month max. And there are so many people coming from third world countries into this business model because it doesn't really require great English, and then they continue to compete for prices. So what you'll see happen is like a lot of video editors nowadays on really good teams are not paid that much, and they're also from third world countries because they're significantly cheaper for the business owners. So even if you're actually good at editing and you have a good skill set, you are competing on price with people who are living on a way cheaper wage, and they're okay with it. And the final thing is that clients treat editing like a commodity. It doesn't matter if you're great at it, it is not really going to change the ceiling of how much they pay you. Overall, because of the fact that it will take you a pretty good amount of time, like months or years, to get good and make some money, and then you're not even making that much and you don't have that much potential, I would probably give it a D. Now let's talk about high ticket closing. Nowadays, there are a lot of people pivoting into the high ticket sales space, and a lot of people are going straight for closing. But the issue is almost nobody will really make it from scratch if they have no experience. One of the things that makes closing really, really good is that you can actually make a lot of money. Like I was at dinner a week ago in Toronto with a guy who was closing making 100K per month. So if you're extroverted and you have pretty good social skills and you can like talk to people well, you can actually make pretty good money, especially if you're on a good offer. However, if you're a beginner, the problem is nobody is going to hire you. You need a pretty good track record, you need a pretty good network, but the issue is you can't build those until you've been on an offer, but you can't really get on an offer until you have those. Another thing worth mentioning is that the rejection rate for opportunities is like disgustingly high. Like, I'm not gonna lie, if you are trying to make money for the first time and you have no social skills, like no crazy background, you don't look special, you don't look better than everybody else, you look like some random goon trying to make money online, why would they hire you to make tens of thousands of dollars per month and make them hundreds of thousands of dollars per month? They won't. They won't trust you. They won't think you can. If you do end up going with high ticket closing, you should expect that for the first multiple months, you probably won't even get placed. Like, you will spend a lot of time doing outreach, being on really bad offers, slowly maybe building up your resume and then eventually getting on a better role. But initially, like, nothing will really happen. The whole point is that high ticket closing does work. And if you have like a decent skill set, or you've invested a lot of money and a lot of time, like months and months and months, you can actually do pretty well. But if you're a beginner and this is like the first thing you're starting off, I promise you, a month into doing outreach, when nobody's replying to you, you're not able to land interviews, nobody wants to hire you, you're gonna quit. Like, the failure rate is disgustingly high. If you're a complete beginner and you're considering doing high ticket closing, I wouldn't suggest you do it. Like, you're gonna go through dark periods, you're probably going to quit. If you have a decent background and like you already have experience, you can do pretty well with it. So I would say because of that, I will probably give it a C. So if every popular option is either too saturated, too risky, or too hard to start with, what is actually left? What would I pick if I had to start from zero today? The skill I would start with, and the one that did very well for me, is appointment setting. And this is genuinely the only business model that is worthy of getting an S tier, and I'm gonna tell you why. And before you think, oh, this is too complicated, appointment setting, what the hell does that mean? Get the hell away from me. Let me explain what it actually is. All you're pretty much doing is messaging people who are already interested in coaching or getting help and getting paid for it. Let's say, for example, you take a fitness coach with 100K followers, Kevin. Kevin posts a bunch of content about getting in shape, and people naturally who want to get in shape will message Kevin. They'll say, hey, can you help me get in shape? Or how much is your program? Or how does it work? Or like, you know, what services do you provide? Kevin is probably too busy to reply. Keep in mind, he has probably a lot of clients. He's probably making a lot of money, and he doesn't want to sit in the DMs and reply to people all day. So your job as an appointment setter is pretty much to reply to those people in Kevin's DMs on Instagram and see, number one, if they're actually like qualified, if it makes sense to work with them. Do they actually need help? Can we help them? And number two, do they have money? And if they have money and they can invest into, let's say, for example, a $3,000 program, cool, they could work with Kevin. And that's it. You book them in for a sales call, somebody else takes that call, and if it closes, you get 5%. So for example, $3,000, you get $150. All you're pretty much doing is replying to people that are already interested in coaching or programs or services and booking them in for sales calls on behalf of somebody else. That is pretty much it. Like, there is no inventory, there's no ad spend, there's no budget, there's no audience, there is no product. You're not selling anything, you're just booking in sales calls. You're doing one single skill. Like, that is the biggest discrepancy between a lot of the other business models, like an agency where you need 5 different skills, and this one, where you just have to do one thing over and over again. All you need to do is text people and manage conversations, which is probably something you do every single day with your family and friends anyway. You might as well get paid for it. And the thing is, I know, like I said, it did well for me, but I'm not the only one who's actually done well with this. For example, for me, I got to like $6,000 per month within like my first few months of doing it, and it was pretty easy to transition then into management. Josh, who is someone who joined my group, joined at 17, he had no experience, and he got to like 8K per month in his first 60 days, and then quit his job, and now he went into closing. So like, that's the thing, you actually have a lot of opportunities outside of it. It's not just setting mundane tasks for the rest of your life forever. In my opinion, the unfair advantage you have with setting is that you're basically taking no risk. It doesn't take any money to start, and you can actually get pretty good at it within your first few weeks. You pretty much get paid to learn, and you are making thousands of dollars per month, if not more, while working with very successful teams that you're also learning from. Sometimes they make 30K per month, sometimes they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars per month. You are learning from them as well. It is also inputs equals outputs. So the more outreach you do, the more conversations you have, the more calls you book, the more money you make. You are in control of the money you make. You are in control of the calls you book. Unlike trading, where you are relying on a market or an algorithm to make you money. Like it's like, come on, bro. And honestly, the only reason it wouldn't work for you is if you don't actually put in the work, and that is like fully in your control. So that is it. Out of every model I've tried, appointment setting is the one I would start with today. Not because it's some get rich quick BS, but because it is the lowest risk way to learn skills, get paid while you do it, and set yourself up for everything after. And that is why I built Setters Academy. So you can genuinely learn the art of conversations, use that as leverage to make money with almost zero risk, get paid while you learn, and set yourself up for something bigger. One of the best parts is that you also get placed on an actual offer. So when you're ready, you're not just sitting there sending cold messages, hoping somebody gives you an opportunity. We help you get an opportunity. Now, there is no pressure, but if you do want to learn more, click the first link in the description, book in a call with me and my team, ask us whatever questions you have, and we will take it from there. Peace.